Well, her mother, right on, was the one person that needed to be there to protect her, to just be a mother, to love her, and she failed. She failed as a mother, and Kelsey's gone because of that.
Lance Briggs talking to The Big Story just a few weeks ago. We've told you about this tragic case of this little girl named Kelsey. She was just 2 years old, and after this 2-year-old died of months of abuse at the hands of her stepfather, while her real dad that I interviewed weeks ago that you just heard there, Lance, served in Iraq. Well, Kelsey's stepdad is currently serving a 30-year prison sentence, and Kelsey's mom is actually pushing for a new trial. She was convicted for allowing the abuse. You heard the dad right there saying that the mom didn't step in. Well, Ray Dawn Smith is saying that she had no idea her daughter was being hurt, and now her sentencing day has been delayed. Joining me now is Kelsey's grandmother, Kathy Briggs, and Fox affiliate reporter in Oklahoma, Britten Follett. Thank you both for coming on.
Hi, Julie. Thank you.
Okay, I'm hoping that we're going to hear you a little louder because that sounded a bit quiet. But Britten, let me first ask you, what about this sentencing being delayed? What's that all about?
You know, the sentencing was delayed, and really that's part of the criminal justice process. Ray Dawn hired a lawyer, and he pushed off the sentencing for just a few weeks. It was originally set for last month, but we do anticipate the sentencing to happen tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. I think we will both be there. And the district attorney tells me that this judge is not likely to rule against the jury's recommendation, which was 27 years.
Kathy, you just heard Kelsey's dad, your son, talk about how the mom, Ray Dawn Smith, knew all very well that her little daughter was being abused. It happened under her own roof. So obviously you do not believe that Kathy, if you could just answer this, had any innocence, really, when it came to her daughter.
Right. She had many opportunities to take Kelsey out of that situation. We went to hearing after hearing. There was documented abuse, and she always had an excuse for every injury that came from her home, almost on every visit. So there is no way that she could not have known.
And tell me about the different obvious signs of Kelsey being abused. I understand at one point she had bones broken. She had been to the hospital several times. In fact, even a judge who I interviewed the same day that I interviewed Kelsey's father came on to describe and explain why Kelsey was sent back into the home after reports of abuse.
Kelsey originally had a broken collarbone and 29 bruises, plus many abrasions. And there were multiple injuries after that. It was pretty much just a regular basis. The judge saw that evidence, and he still ruled against an unknown perpetrator, whereas Ray Dawn was one of them, and so was her husband, Michael Porter. He chose to send her back in that home where she repeatedly received more.
And, you know, this story obviously brings visibility to child abuse and how it can be prevented. And so that's why I really wanted to have you guys on, to just have Kelsey, at least her honor and her memory, be remembered so that this doesn't happen again. I mean, Kathy, at any point, you were given custody at one point, right, of Kelsey, and then was Kelsey taken away from you?
Yes, I got her in January when she had the broken collarbone. I kept her until May. She had 2 broken legs. I took her to a specialist for a second opinion because their first doctor said it was an accident. He ruled abuse. They had decided within the time frame they needed to do an investigation to see where the injury could have occurred. They could not decide exactly where it was, and during that time she was with her maternal grandmother.
And the whole time, all those times, broken bones, all of that happened by her stepdad. You don't believe her mom actually ever struck her, do you?
I really don't know. There is times that Kelsey referred to her stepdad, but there was also times she showed that she had concerns of her mother too, so it's hard to say which one actually came from it. The mother is the one who always had an excuse for it.
All right, Britten, real quick before I let you go, I know this is changing laws, and I hope it really does so it never happens again. Where in this local town, what has been the reaction? I know people are just outraged by this story.
People have just embraced Kelsey. You know, the other night I cried myself to sleep because I saw Kelsey's video on YouTube, and there were 6 million hits. So many people have fallen in love with Kelsey, but Kelsey should have never been on YouTube. She should be turning 4 this year. And this could have been prevented. There were so many caseworkers in charge of protecting her, and everyone involved, starting at home through the system, failed.
All right. Well, let's hope that they don't fail again and that finally laws are toughened so that this never happens to another child. Britten Follett and Kathy Briggs, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
We're also expecting to hear from the folks searching for Steve Fawcett. They got a tip today, a very credible tip. They are actually calling it the best tip that they've received in days. Now, bear in mind that they have found many other plane wrecks this week. None of them actually panned out to be Fawcett's. In fact, one of...
Choice.
All right, Steve Harrigan, a veteran of many hurricanes, will be checking back with you a bit later on. Steve, thanks.
And a Fox News alert now. Rescue efforts underway in Oklahoma today, watching some pretty dramatic helicopter rescues taking place in flooded areas of Oklahoma where the remains of Tropical Storm Aaron have swamped homes, swamped highways, literally blacking out thousands of people from power. One woman drowned in her flooded basement earlier today. A motorist still missing after their vehicle was washed off the road. And the problem is just getting worse as these flood waters rise. At this point, Domenica Davis has been reporting no more rain for this area, but it could take about 24 hours for the situation to get better. Britten Follett, a reporter for our Fox affiliate KOKH, is on the phone in Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Britten, I understand you literally just pulled up in your car. What was that like to see?
It's absolutely incredible. The river, it's called Kingfisher Creek, and just to give you a little sense of where we're at, we're about an hour northwest of Oklahoma City. And Kingfisher Creek has basically found its way across Main Street here in Kingfisher. It's a small town, and it has been invaded by news crews and every emergency management crew you can think of from about 12 agencies across the state. They've got 6 current water rescue operations going on right now. They're trying to get these people off of their roofs on helicopters and taking some boats out there to try to get these people. Right now they're telling me nobody is injured. They're just obviously trying to get out of the water.
Okay, you know, it's interesting to watch these amazing helicopter rescues that we've been watching here on our air today, but the water is just immense. I mean, it's amazing. And we were reporting earlier, and we were watching this helicopter video of this man holding on for dear life. How many helicopters are out there? Because I don't see any boats. So I'm wondering, for those who are trapped in these floodwaters, how they are being rescued at this point.
It's my understanding we have 1, maybe 2 helicopters out here, so they're kind of having to go after one house after, one by one. And I am told the gentleman who slipped out of the rescuer's grip is okay, and they're actually trying to ferry them across Main Street, which has now basically become a river, and just they've got some jet skis and small boats to try to get these people across. But so far here in Kingfisher, we have no injuries, which is truly a blessing.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Britten Follett, from our Fox affiliate out there at KOKH, for joining us there from Kingfisher Creek.